Hello. No necklace today because, I should say happy Tuesday. No necklace today because it's been hot. Yay! You know, for once. Not knocking it, it's been lovely. I've had my sun cream on, I've caught the sun, but I actually burnt my shoulder because I must have missed a bit. You know, I must have gone up my arm like that, but not gone over. So 2 little bits, one on each side, are a bit burned. So today I've got something with a cap sleeve on. I have actually got my shorts on, but I'm not going to stand up and give you a twirl, you know. Don't want to ruin your Tuesday, do I? Anyway, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's me and the dogs again. My son's at work and my daughter-in-law has gone to see her grandchildren. And so that's where it is. Washing's on the line, strip the bed. I do like a nice day when it blows, you know. Reminds me, you know, my mum always pegged out the sheets and that. And you always remember your childhood summers as being gorgeous, don't you? Beautiful, sunshine and everything. I suppose they weren't, it's just your memory plays tricks. But I can remember as a child playing, you know, in the streets and going with my friends, you know, and we'd have a little bottle of water, you know, nothing so posh, there was no soft drinks back then. You had a bottle of water, didn't you? And if you were lucky, you had a sandwich with probably bread and jam or something like that, wrapped in a bit of greaseproof paper. And off you went, you know. No bikes or anything like that. We used to walk, yeah. And we would go, you know, to the park or wherever we would go, yeah. And, I mean, those days we were a lot safer. We could play out all day, you know. You didn't go in till the sun went down. Anyway, I can always remember my mum, you know, having sheets and bedding and things blowing on the line. And in those days there was none of that polycotton stuff that dries in 5 minutes. It was all flannelette that you needed a good drying day for, because it was flannelette and it took forever to dry, yeah. Yeah, my duvet cover, of course, is polycotton and it probably will take about 5 minutes to dry because it's lovely and warm out there. Beautifully warm. Yes. Update on the scooter. I had a word with my scooter man because there was no point ringing anybody up because it was a bank holiday and I thought, you know, people deserve a holiday. They don't want me mithering them when they're having a few days off. So I rang him this morning and he, you know, he's always very obliging. He's going, well, I can't come today, but I'll try and get down tomorrow with a new tyre for you. So I explained where it was, that it's in a friend's garage, and he said, no problem, it's only around the corner, that's not a problem. He said, I'll go and get it. I said, well, there's a small snag to that. I said, you'll have to call here first because I haven't got the keys. He went, oh, right, okay. But I mean, if he picks me up and takes me tomorrow morning, I can actually ride it home because it's only just, it's not even half a mile away. So I can ride it home and then I can go to Knit Club if I've got time, yeah. What have I got today next to me? Well, let me see if I can move the camera. That's one of the tops that you may have seen me wear. Woo. I'm actually going to put a few of my things on eBay. I've had some yarn on eBay which I have wrapped up and, well, I've got 6 ready for the post office when I've got transport to be able to go. It's all sold for ridiculously low amounts, you know. Not even half of what I paid for it, and a lot of it I got it in the sale anyway, so it's half of a sale price, you know. I'm surprised, like, you know, that it's not been snapped up. You know, you're thinking, what do people want these days, you know, free? Although I gave my friend some my baby clothes, like, to see if she could sell them on her car boot. Surprisingly, no. my crochet baby items are not even wanted on a car boot, yeah. You know, you wonder, don't you? That's why I've not been crocheting, to be quite honest. I haven't been crocheting. What's the point? Unless I'm making something for myself, there's not much point because, like, nothing's being sold and that's the end of the story, really. I was speaking to Sue yesterday. I moved the camera back again so you don't need to see me top, do you? I've got more. It's a I think it's a 3X UK. I mean, it's a beautiful top and I could still wear it, but it's rather voluminous, you know, and makes me look a lot bigger than I actually am. So even though it's very pretty, and I've got another 2 or 3 that are all in a similar style, very, very pretty, but it's like they're too big. Will you just sell them because they're too big? And I've got a couple of dresses that I got from Shine or Shein that are too big, yeah. I've got a couple more actually, but I think I shortened those, so it's like you're not selling them as kind of newish if you've already shortened them. Although I suppose you could put a reduced price and say I have shortened them, you know, because my stitching are not the best when I'm doing hand stitching. I'll have to look. If I've just turned them up, you know, leaving the original hem, I can just undo the stitches. But if I've cut them and turned them up, then, yeah, not quite the same, is it? Anyway, I was telling you, I've spoken to Sue, and we were chatting about me going up there, and then my son chimed up into the conversation. And he said, actually, he said, where does she live? So I told him, and he said, our friends don't live that far away. So if you wanted to go up for a weekend, say, we could go up on a Friday, you know, take the dogs with us, and they could go to their friends. They could either go up in the camper van and stay in the camper van with the dogs, but their friends, or if their friend can put them up, we could, or if not, we could all stay at an Airbnb. You know, hire one of these places and we could all stay there. So it'd be nice, you know. It would only be for the weekend, but it would be nice to see Sue again. And, you know, she's in the process of renovating her cottage still. But, so there's no room for me to stay. And I know it sounds a bit weird, but I've never actually met her husband, well, partner. He's been with her about 20 odd years, so I call him her husband. I've never actually met him. So it's a little bit awkward, isn't it, you know, sharing a house with somebody that you've not met before and, you know, sharing a bathroom and things like that. And she's in the middle of renovating anyway. So I would love to go and see her, yeah. I've got a big sack full of books to take for her. That's taking up room in my shed. Some other things that'd be going out my shed. Because I'm not putting them on eBay. Books, I have put them up in the past, but it's such a faff, you know, because you have to charge so much for the postage that the books are not worth anything. I'd rather either donate them to the charity shop or to the church I go to, the knit club at. I don't go to get to a church, but I go to the knit club at the church. They sell books there, you know, in aid of church funds, so I could always take the ones that I don't think that Sue would be interested in. I could always take those there. I think they sell them for about 50p each or something silly. But, and there's also, they sell them at the community centre that I go to at the Lark Home. You know, the evening knit club that I go to, they sell them there for donations, you know, in aid of Lark Home Community Centre funds, I presume, yeah. So there's always places I can take them. I'm not one that likes to keep paperback novels when I've read them. I never reread them. I never do. Once I've read them, that's it. Obviously, crochet books, whatever, I will keep those because you know, they're a reference library, aren't they? I browse through them often, you know, when I'm lacking in inspiration or whatever, and it's amazing, you know, if you haven't looked at them for a couple of years, you've forgotten the actual contents of the book, you know. And I mean, I do look sometimes on Ravelry to see in my library, but I haven't updated my library in Ravelry for such a long time, because I think some of the ones that I say I've got in Ravelry, I don't have them anymore because I got rid of them when I moved here. But it's like one of those things in life you never seem to find the time for. I mean, today I should have been taking photographs and I should have been making this video earlier, but the man next door was hoovering out his car. I think it was the lady next door was hoovering out her car. And her hoover, her vacuum, has this really high pitch. me. And I didn't think that you would like to hear that, you know. So, as I say, I spent today packaging up what I've sold and put labels on them ready. But I can't take them to the post office because I've got no scooter. And in any case, I wouldn't leave the dogs. Yeah. My son had already seen my photograph about Rosie digging a hole in the garden. So he wasn't that cross really, because it wasn't actually my fault. It wasn't on my watch this time, because my daughter-in-law said she'd close the conservatory door, but it's got a habit, if you don't latch it properly, it will swing open again. He did it on me the other night. I was sitting there thinking, I'm going a bit chilly. It was about 10 o'clock at night. I thought, I'm a bit chilly, what's going on? It's a bit cold. And when I came in, the conservatory door had opened itself, if you know what I mean. You have to really shut it and lock it to make sure it is, you know, completely locked. If you just close it, it can swing open again. At the moment it's open. I've propped it up with a plant pot because it tends to do a bit of that bit in the wind, you know. It's not as hot today. It's a little bit cooler. So I haven't actually been outside really much. Although, like I say, I didn't put a necklace on because it's surprising how hot necklaces get in the sun, and then you can burn yourself. I actually remember, you know, when I was, about 17 and had a little figure for the bikinis, you know. I bought this gorgeous bikini, but it had a metal ring here, right, you know, to hold the two cups together. Beautiful, fashionable, I thought it was. And I got a blister. It actually, the ring was metal, and it got so red hot, I hadn't noticed. I was way out in the sun. And it burnt a big blister, you know, right in between my bassoons. Oh, it took ages to heal as well. But I didn't realise it was burning until, you know, like the evening time, and I come to move, and oh God, I was so burned, yeah. Why would they put a metal, I suppose they put plastic on these days. I'm going back to when I was 17, which is like, at least 2 years ago. And they used to put metal fasteners. I mean, the bikini actually had metal rings at each side of the bikini bottoms, but luckily I hadn't got burnt there. It was just the one in the middle of my bassoons. Oh, those were the days when I could frolic about wearing a little bikini and not have anything overhanging, you know. No mama pooch or anything like that. No, nothing like that. No bodily scars everywhere. Although that doesn't bother me. I wear my scars like a trophy. You know, I don't think you should hide your scars away. They're part of life. They're part of what happens to you. I mean, I've got a massive scar that runs the whole, well, not the whole length of my back. It goes from my bra line right down to the cheeks of my bum. But it doesn't worry me. And I've got a scar on my knee, obviously, from when I had a replacement knee. I've got an appendix scar that goes all across, and I've got a hysterectomy scar. But if I had the figure, you know, I would wear a two-piece. I would wear a bikini. Not perhaps a teeny weeny bikini, but if I had the figure, I would wear one, yeah. But as it is at the moment, at my time of life, I wear a one-piece, you know. But even the one-piece, sometimes they have a low back, don't they? And you can see my back scar. That does not bother me at all, and I don't think it should bother anybody else. And I don't see why it would. You know, they're battle scars, aren't they? They're what has happened to you during life, you know. Loads of ladies have got, you know, cesarean scars and everything like that. And they are a trophy, aren't they, you know. I mean, I'm fortunate enough not to have stretch marks, you know, from when I had my son. But then again, I only had the one child. I was only fortunate enough to have the one child. But, you know, mums who've given birth to a few kiddies, you know, they've got stretch marks, and, you know, it's a rite of passage if you're a mum, isn't it? You know, if you have got stretch marks, please don't let them worry you. You know, please wear them with pride. You know, if you want to wear a two-piece, wear a two-piece. As I say, I do not have the figure for it these days. if I would wear a swimsuit these days, it's either to go in the hot tub or, you know, when I went to the spa with my daughter, my niece, you know, I wore a one-piece then. And if I was going swimming, I would wear a one-piece. Not that I would go in the sea. Oh, no. Goodness forbid, it's so cold here to go in the sea. Even on a hot day. You'd have to be very brave to dip your toes in this sea, I tell you. But, no, if I was to go in the sea or the swimming bath, I would still wear a one-piece, yeah. So I'm still doing the crochet. I've done the back, a sleeve, one front, and part of another front. So I've got to finish one front and one sleeve, and then do the border at the bottom. It's got a fancy edging at the bottom. I did go in my shed yesterday. Well, I was sorting out a couple of books for my daughter-in-law because she'd mentioned she was reading a book, and I went, oh, I've got a couple of books in the shed by the same author. I'll get them out, see if you've read them. And anyway, she hadn't, so I've given her those two to read. And I did think about tidying in the shed, but it was a little bit, it was very, very hot. My daughter-in-law and son had come back from a concert, and actually it had been cold where they'd been. It'd been, you know, to be absolutely, like I said before, cracking the flags here. And it was beautiful, because I got burnt, got a bit of suntan, a little bit of suntan. But I did actually, you know, I missed a couple of places, as I said, with my suntan cream. Anyway, today I haven't put any on because I've not been sitting in the garden. I have things to do. Things to do, yeah. I have got bids on some more of the yarn that's on eBay. Low bids, sadly. Low bids. Won't make a fortune. Won't make me holiday money that way. But every bit helps, as they say. What's that saying? You have to take care of the pennies and then the pounds will look after themselves, yeah? Yeah. So I've washed my patchwork shorts that I had on the other day. I'm actually in a pair of shorts that didn't fit me, and now they do. I'm not losing weight. I'm just staying the same, give or take a pound or two. I wish I could lose weight, actually. I need to lose a bit more. It would help with my, you know, spine, and my knees and my hips and my general creakiness, yeah. But we'll see how we go on today. I need to do a bit more crochet, but it's a bit warm to crochet in the garden. You know, when you crochet in acrylic, you get a bit sticky, you know. And I don't want to really stay in the house all day. What have I got to do? Tidy up a little bit in my bedroom because I've got to remake the bed. The bedding may be dry now, so I've got no excuse ever for not going to remake my bed. Although, you know, I could procrastinate and say, the sun's shining, I need to go out in the garden. The dogs would love to go in the garden, although they're sleeping on the sofa in the front room. So they're not bothered about the sunshine, are they? My daughter-in-law took them out for a walk, as she does when she's going out for the day, because she tires them out a bit, so, yeah. That's, I mean, Tuesdays are my usual looking after the dogs day, although I've had them all over the weekend as well. But Tuesday, I normally look after them. So I am hoping to get to Knit Club tomorrow. It all depends what time my lovely scooter man comes. He said he would ring me or text me first thing in the morning and let me know when he was coming. And hopefully bring a new tyre. Because that tyre has just not got a puncture. That tyre is just bald. I have a horrible suspicion that it must have been a slow puncture or one that was going down. And I've carried on riding on it, not noticing. Of course, I get the lecture of my son, we need to start doing weekly checks. Go round looking at the tyre pressures. And I'm like, we? I wouldn't know one tyre pressure from another. I mean, the days are gone when I used to do it with a car. You know, I used to check the oil, you know, you do, check the tyres, check the water. But you get out of the habit. I mean, I'm not driven for, what, about 15, 16 years. So you don't think to do the same sort of checks on the scooter, do you? I don't even know what pressure the tyres are supposed to be at, because I never got a book, you know, the instruction manual, I never got a book with it. So I wouldn't know what to, well, I can't pump them up, I haven't got a pump. I think my son has, so. I think that we will have to do the spot checks. He will have to do the spot checks to see if my tyres are okay. It's the state of the pavements and the roads round here. They are chronic. It's something to do with all being so close to the sea, and the salt and everything just wrecks the concrete and that they use on the pavements. If it was the old days when we used to use the flags or the paving stones, it wouldn't happen. But now they use this sort of concretey stuff and it just breaks up. Just goes to dust and potholes. My son said, well, you've got the little scooter, you could have used the little scooter if all else fails. And I'm like, oh no. A, it's not charged, I don't leave it on charge. And B, it's only meant for going round a shopping precinct and in and out of shops. It's not meant for me to go all the way to Cleveland. Technically, it would do it mileage-wise, technically. But I'd be shattered, I'd have no spine left, it'd be like, you can use. No. Every time I go, I mean, I'm glad I bought it in some respects, although I don't really use it. I had intended to, like, catch the tram and everything, although there is a new extension to the tram line which will take me all the way to Blackpool train station. It's not open yet, being built. So that would be handy. If I could take myself to the tram stop, I could get the tram then all the way to the train, and from the train I could get to Manchester. Back to my old stomping ground where there's nice shops. I mean, I wouldn't do it often because I don't have the money, but I did used to like going, excuse me, not so much window shopping. But it used to be my treat. About once a month I used to go to Manchester, have a nice lunch in a nice cafe. Just treat myself to a few little bits and pieces. I don't mean a shopping spree, I don't mean clothes, shoes, things like that. Just, you know, some nice bits and pieces like from Marks and Spencer's for me tea and things like that. And just have a little look around and see what was going on, you know, in Manchester. So that used to be my treat. But that was when I could walk a little bit. I could take my stick on my crutches and I could walk a little bit back then. Not far. I soon got weary. I was soon looking for a bench to sit on. But yeah, I do miss that. I miss going out for the day, you know. Whereas here it's a bit difficult. I'm not a lover of Blackpool, as I've told you before. I'm not a lover. Although I do like to go to Affinity, what used to be called Freeport, every now and again. Sadly, there's not as many shops as there used to be. It used to be an outlet. And an outlet is a place where they sell things, you know, that are high-end store things, but maybe reduced. End of lines, maybe, last year's stock, maybe. But it's not, it's changed now, it's not the same anymore. The outlets have gone. Although they do have a Skechers and a Pavers that sell nice shoes. And I think I mentioned before that I lost me lovely trainers, I think you call them, I don't know what you call them. You don't call them something in America, don't you? Sneakers. We call them trainers, you know. I mean, alright, I don't walk far. I know I don't walk far. But I would like a nice pair of comfy trainers. And I lost them in transit coming from Prestwich to here. And I also lost my good sandals, yeah. I think I've mentioned before, they must have gone in the wrong bag. You know, when you're doing the charity shop, throw away, take with me. I think I must have got a bit gung-ho, you know. And they went in the wrong bag. So, maybe with my spoils from selling my things on eBay, you know, I made so much money with. My crochet, nobody's interested in the crochet. Nobody at all is interested in buying the crochet. And I haven't been able to get down to the shop in Cleveland to see whether she's sold any more of the things or not. I'm not very optimistic though, probably not, yeah. I mean, all she seemed to say was, oh, it's a bit expensive. And I've reduced all my prices, I've reduced everything to sell it all. Everything I have that I've crocheted already, I've reduced. I'm not in the market for doing it anymore as a, you know, not a job really, a paying hobby, let's say. I'm not in the market for that anymore. I've lost the incentive, I've lost the will. But I do need to get rid of everything. And I refuse to just give it away. People keep saying, oh, you could donate it to the charity shops. And I'm like, hang on a minute, no. There's hours of my time in there, you know, there's loads of my money in there. I know I will never get the money back, but I would like a bit, you know, that would go towards my holiday fund. Because I plan on going somewhere else besides going to see Sue. I've been looking at, you know, the coach trips where they take you places. You go only for a few days or a week, yeah, where they take you in a coach down and you know, you've got your hotel booked and stuff. And you either have a couple of free days wherever you happen to land, or, you know, maybe you've got some day trips that you could book where they take you to other places. I would have to look into like being disabled friendly, because I can't do stairs, so they'd have to have a lift, you know, and a walk-in shower, because I can't do a bath. I can't step in a bath anymore. But that is all things that I could cross that bridge with them, you know, start booking. But yeah, abroad is out because I don't have a passport, and I don't intend to pay that kind of money to get a passport this year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. You know, when the government decides to increase the pension by such a lot of money. Ha! That will never happen. I will never be rich. I'm not one of the rich pensioners, let's put it that way. There are some, probably politicians who've got some fat cats that got these wonderful pensions from work, you know, which I've been self-employed for most of my life. I don't have. I was paying into a pension when I was self-employed, but sadly I cashed it all in when I bought my ex-husband out of the house. But you don't think, well, I didn't, when I was in my 20s and my 30s, you don't think how it's going to be when you retire. You think it's going to be fine, you know. I don't know what I thought. I think maybe today's younger people are a bit more thinking about the future, maybe, I don't know. I never did. I never kind of thought what it would be like. But my ex-husband had such a brilliant pension, or he would have had, he would have stayed married, that he never encouraged me to take out a massive pension or anything like that. You know, it's, oh, there'll be plenty for both of us when we retire. You don't need to worry about that. Well, that's my little thing telling me to shut up. I can never get it to stop when I press it. It's the same in the morning with my alarm. Press, 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 press. I think my screen must be a bit greasy. Time I gave it a wipe. And also it's time I went. So I will see you very soon. Keep your fingers crossed that the scooter man brings me a new Tyre tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.